So as we were moving throughout the school year, I feel like I'm the narrator of this whole thing, but as we were moving throughout the school year, of course, we came to March. And when we were going through our distance learning experience in the spring, we learned some valuable lessons that would really ultimately serve as the building blocks for how we ultimately responded in the fall. So in the spring, remember, let me set the stage for you just a little bit. Remember, we had 3 days to prepare. We were living with the stress and anxiety associated with a global pandemic and mass quarantine. And as we lived with that fear and anxiety of that time, I must tell you, I'm incredibly proud of the work that we did during that time. I'm incredibly proud of how our staff came together, the effort that they put forth, whether it was feeding students, whether it was creating model lesson plans from scratch, often by themselves and with very little prep time. They did all of this work because they saw they needed to step up and help serve their community. And they were doing it at the same time while many of them were looking after their own children or looking after elderly parents or having other responsibilities at home. And so they were juggling any number of balls in the air and trying to make all of this happen. So having said that, I think it's important, though, that we still learn from our feedback. So if you'll remember, we sent out a survey and we requested feedback on how we could have improved that process and what we could look for in terms of turning our attention to the fall. And so what I have for you tonight is each presenter is going to share. So we're going to have 1, 2, I think there are 6 lessons. And every presenter is going to share a lesson that we learned from that survey and then how we've responded to it and adjusted our plans in the fall. So that's how that's going to look for the next few minutes. So this is going to be like a speed dating round with everybody coming up and sharing some different aspects. So we'll start with Mary Beth Hill because our first lesson was about communication.
So the first lesson was that, as Dr. Little said, that the district should frequently seek feedback from stakeholders regarding their response to crisis situations. So the district began gathering information from parents and students using surveys regarding their experiences with the e-learning and other materials and methods like student packets, starting from March 16th through the end of the year. So we did a Hanover research pulse survey of 3,928 parents, 189 students, 1,535 school level staff, and 174 district level staff. 88% of the school staff and 75% of the district staff felt that they were very well informed. Well, we did focus groups as a follow-up with parents, doctors, students, teachers, nurses, support staff, other groups. And then we started to get some information that they wanted to participate more. They didn't want to just give a yes or no answer. So we looked into something called thought exchange. The National School Public Relations Association partnered with this company to offer districts across the nation and Canada an opportunity to use what's really more like a virtual town hall than a straight survey. And so they did it for free during the pandemic because they realized that districts needed a different way of getting feedback from their stakeholders. So after researching this, Dr. Phillips and I proposed that the district participate, and we did. So keep in mind that it's not a survey. So unlike a survey, you have to first give your thoughts about a specific open-ended question. Our question was, what are the most important things we need to think about as we prepare to reopen schools in the fall? So first of all, they provide their thoughts around that question, and then they're encouraged to read and anonymously rate other people's thoughts. So 8,666 parents provided 13,573 thoughts, and they submitted 302,163 ratings of other parents' thoughts. The staff had 2,466 staff participate. They provided 4,195 thoughts and submitted 104,555 ratings of other staff members' thoughts. So obviously, we got some great participation. But we learned some things too. So how well informed did they feel like they were? Parents, 61% of parents felt very well informed. 31% felt somewhat informed. So that's 92% that felt there was some level of being informed. That was good. However, they were very specific about they liked the opportunity to give more opportunity to share their opinions. So we're planning to use it again. We learned that that was a really good piece of software for us, so we have participated in that, and we'll be using that to gather some feedback as we go forward, determining how we're meeting those needs in the future. So some of this confirmed what we already knew. I'm not keeping up with my slides. Catherine, you want to run the slide? So some of this confirmed what we already knew. And so you'll see that we have always notified our board and staff and first, whenever possible, when we're messaging. We created 7 Together Talks with Dr. Little, which have received a combined total of 50,239 views. They're more intimate video conversations with Dr. Little and special guests. And we created some other video messages from the superintendent, such as a message about hope in April, a message to graduating seniors in May, and a welcome back message in August. Then we added mini chats because they started asking questions about specific areas. So Zan Tracy Pender, our school counseling advisement director, talked about social emotional learning. Chief Academic Officer Dr. Talley talked about leap days. Principal Nicole Mitchell about online registration. And we got over 3,082 views on these mini chats. Then they wanted to know where they could find information. So we knew that whatever type of information we used, consistency was key, and then availability was key. So we wanted to make sure that we kept providing inside voice, was something that we always had done. And then we beefed it up. Lindsay Mitchell, our social media and web content manager, created a COVID-19 web page on our site. Since its inception, it's had 21,863 views. To put this in perspective, the homepage of our website in March had 76,900 views. That's the first page. So the entire website traffic began to pick up, as you would think it would in the middle of a pandemic. And so in April, we had 92,021 views, May 102,936 views, and then we layered the Stronger Together website on because they wanted one place to go for back to school information. And once we did that, that page alone since June 3rd has had 130,662 views. And it's drawn more traffic to our website. So we had 101,015 views in June just on the home page of our website. So the whole traffic picked up, as you can see. So they began to let us know, though, parents did, and they mentioned it again at the Parent Advisory Council last night in the small group I was in, that they're getting a bit of message fatigue. And we recognize that. So we worked to share often, but not flood them with information, and we began to use little bits of information and deliver them through text. We found that parents really received text well. They had lots of opens and views. One of the highest things we did was sending a link to text message reminders. And then we shared links to other documents, and they liked the simple, short how-to videos. So we created some of those show me, don't tell me kind of things. So we added those straightforward videos that showed what a school day would look like when you dropped your child off, what does classroom social distancing, masking, hand washing look like. It was our highest watched video in August with 5,054 views. YouTube, 91 shares on Facebook, 40 shares on YouTube, and 12 shares on Twitter. We did one on masking and social distancing for staff because with plexiglass, they were confused about whether they still had to mask. And obviously, you're masked and you have plexiglass. We pushed out to parents and staff colorful 1-2 page flyers You'll see those online, daily schedules, typical day as an online learning academy student, top 10 things you need to know as we head back to school, week 1 by the numbers, things like that. So we continue to do that, but what we learned is if I send an email out with information, I can expect to get anywhere from 500 to 1,000 email back. They have really asked questions. So we've spent a lot of time creating question and answer documents. They've asked for a new question and answer documents last night in the Parent Advisory Council. So we continue to respond to what they are asking for rather than just assuming we know. Any questions?
Hey, this is Jada. Thank you. I have one question about thought exchange. You gave the results for the parents, but did you have the results from the staff?
Yes, we do.
Oh, you gave the percentage. 61% of parents felt well-informed and 31% felt some informed.
Right. So I don't know if I brought that with me, but staff did participate very highly. Let's see. I didn't. I can get that for you, though, because we did have that in our information.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to say, I like on Facebook when a parent asks a question that almost immediately y'all pop the answer on there. And because a lot of the parents have the same question, so I feel like when you guys answer it, you know, it really helps everybody that's looking at that. So
Right.
I think that's great that y'all are so instantaneous.
The staff has been great. I just got to tell you, they've worked crazy hours. I mean, crazy hours. And they have worked very hard from home, from the office after hours. They've just been wonderful. And producing the quality of stuff they produce in this time, a lot of districts have called us. I had a district from the West Coast call and asked could they use one of our documents. Did we mind if they copied it? So, I mean, that's real compliments. We've been in a national publication mentioned. Our Stronger Together website was cited. So we're really pleased with what we've been able to do in this kind of environment.
Ms. Hall, I want to comment, the week 1 by the numbers, one pager. I love that. I shared it on Twitter and on Facebook, and I have a number of folks that I know that are teachers in Tennessee and North Carolina. They shared it and tagged people in their district. Hey, did you see this? So that was excellent. That just, you know, so much informative data, clearly depicted with good graphics.
Right. I want to give credit where credit's due. That was Catherine's idea. So this is Catherine McPhail, our communications director, and she did a great job working with Lori Helton in our office, who's our artist extraordinaire. And so they did a great job getting that together.
Yeah, infographics like that are a great way to get a lot of
Right.
information out.
Thank you.